Right, welcome once more. This time we're going to look at arrays once more, calculating total and average. The presenter is still Chigomana MT. Now, what is the objectives here? Now, here you are going to learn how to calculate total of a given one-dimensional array, and also you are going to learn how to calculate the average of an array. Right, what I'm going to do here, line number 2 is a comment declaring a one-dimensional array. Dim as mark as integer is equals to 20, 100, 40, 80, 70, 100, 45, 98, 23, 67, 89, 90. Remember, a one-dimensional array must be covered by curly brackets. It must be covered by curly brackets. Right, this is my array. I've declared it. Right. Right, the first thing that we are going to do here, we're going to code btn display. Right, the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to declare in line number 8 the total. Now this total is what we're going to calculate, and also we're going to declare the average because we're also going to calculate average. Alright, I made a mistake somewhere. Now what I'm going to do here is to declare, I'm going to declare an accumulator. Now what is this accumulator? Now before I continue, an accumulator is like a basket where you put a basket somewhere, and say for example that basket has nothing, and when people passes by they just add something into that basket, add something into that basket. Now in order to know the number, of things that has been, that have been dumped into the basket, we have to check in the basket. So an accumulator is one thing that is very, very important. Right. Now, where do we have to declare an accumulator? Right? Because an accumulator is a shared resource. In other words, it can be requested by many procedures in the program. Therefore, the best place for them to be defined is in the shared, or what we call global variable section of the program. So I will recommend that every time when you declare an accumulator, it must be in the global section of your program. Now here I'm going to declare my accumulator. The name of my accumulator is total. Now I'm going to initialize it to 0. Why am I initializing it to 0? It's because before we calculate anything, the total is 0. Unless otherwise, perhaps we have been given a certain number to say, before the program starts, this thing was, the total was 100, etc. But now we know that the total is 0. So we've declared our accumulator's name is total. Right, the next thing here is to open the btn. We're going to open the btn displays, click a procedure. Now the first thing will be to declare average, because we've already declared total and then the average is there. So the next thing will be to make sure that we do the calculation and display this item on a list box. Right, the next thing, we are going to display the contents of an array in the list box, and we are also going to accumulate total. Now what is going to happen here, we are going to use the for loop statement. Right, we're going to say for I as integer. Why are we saying for I as integer? That is because we haven't declared our counter anyway. Generally our counter was supposed to have been declared perhaps in the global section of our code. Right, but because it has been declared here and it has never been declared anywhere, that is why we are saying for I as integer. In other words, we are trying to declare this counter variable. Right, we are going to start counting from 0 to the length of s mark minus 1. Right, now this line here is to display the contents of an array. I'm not going to dwell much on how to display the contents of an array because we've done this in our previous videos, right? In other words, this statement is to declare all the contents of this array. In other words, 20, 100, 40, 80, 70, 145, 98, 23, 67, 89, 100. So all these items are going to be shown on the list box. Now this one is our accumulator in action. In other words, let's say, for example, in other words, you still remember that I indicated an example. I mean, I tried to illustrate an accumulator as, you know, likened to a basket. Now it is like this. Now this is our basket, right? When the program runs for the first time, our basket will be equals to to 0. 0 plus what is going to be added by by passerby. In other words, a person who is passing by will add something. In other words, the first person to pass by is going to add 20. Now this 20 is going to be 20 plus the 0 what was in the the 0 that is in the basket, which means our basket now will be equals to 20. That is during the first, uh, 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 um, during the first round. Now second round, it means our basket has something inside. It means our basket has 20. Now when the second person comes, or that person will be having 100, that person is going to pop in 100 inside the basket. Now it means our basket is has something. It has 20 plus 100. That is going to go on until the end of the array. Now let me repeat this. What is going to happen now? What is happening with this statement is that our total is being likened to, I'm going to liken it to a basket. The basket, when you put the basket had nothing. But when people are passing by, one is going to put 20, one is going to put 100, one is going to put 40, one is going to put 80, one is going to put 70. Now this statement here, in our first round, our I is going to be equals to 0. That means the computer is going to pick element number 0, which is 20, and drop it into total. It means our total during the first round of the for loop statement will be equals to 20. Second round, our I will be equals to 1. Right? Our element number 1 here is 100. Therefore, it is going to pop in 100 into our basket, into our total. It means our total will keep on growing. That is why we are saying that total is an accumulator. Right, line number 21 to number 22, we're going to calculate the average. Now our statement is going to be average is equals to total divided by smark dot length. Now let me explain this. Average I mean it's a variable that is going to hold the average after you have calculated. Now remember, we calculate average. When we calculate average, we say total. We say, in other words, we say the total. Let's say, for example, a person has got, let's say, for example, we have 5 students in a class. What is going to happen is we're going to say the total that has been accumulated, by those students. Let's say, for example, one student's got 70, the other one 10, the other one 5, the other one 3. We're going to add all those marks that those students got, and we divide by the number of those students. That is why we're saying total divided by smark.length. Remember, the length method determines the number of elements that are there in the array. In other words, if we have 59 elements, it means the length is going to give us that 59. So what we are saying here, we're saying we're going to take the total that we calculated in line number 15 up to line number 19 by using the for loop statement. That total is going to be divided by the number of elements, in the array. If we have 20 elements, it means we are going to divide by that number, which is 20.